Hello guys and welcome to Front Row Racing. Hopefully our final test session as it stands. We're going around Britain this evening, Silverstone. We're going around the short track. Just a bit of information before I introduce the comms team that are joining me this evening. We will be testing the safety car in this event again. Hopefully, with Codemaster's latest patch release, we will be able to run it in the up-and-coming Season 8 for the World Championship and World Series events going forward. But we'll see how we get on this evening. But as I said, I've got two gentlemen joining me in the comms box this evening. That would be Overdyke himself and Nightwalker. How are you guys this evening?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you?
Getting there slowly. Older every day, Dom.
Yeah. Doing great. Looking forward to the event.
No worries, good stuff there. Well, what we're going to do now, guys, is because it's only a test session, we're concentrating on the safety car itself. I will spectate up. If Adam, you can jump in any car you fancy that's available. You will be our pit lane man in commentary. And Dom, if you hit the spectator button, we will get these guys over to the track.
I'm done, mate. So let's get it going.
Let's get going. When you're ready, Adam, if possible. There we go.
There we go.
Sorted. So, yeah, this evening, guys, it's our final test session, we hope. We will be going live next week on Wednesday with the World Championships first event of Round 1, Australia. You'll see the likes of myself and Overdyke, who's in the comms box this evening, taken to the track, trying to stop Mr. Hamilton 44 in his tracks. And then again on Thursday next week, we will be live with the World Series event, Round 1, Australia. So, here we go, guys. Short Silverstone track, hopefully a bit of rain, bit of spice. I know we're concentrating on the safety car, but what are you looking forward to tonight?
Well, I'm looking forward to a lot of great battles, obviously, with the amount of drivers we have in. It's a good turnout for this practice session. I hope this turnout is going to be the same for the actual league events next week, but I'm sure it will be. Then again, Silverstone Short, it's a nice track, a fun track. We might see a bit of problems with lapping cars, because obviously with this track being as short as it is, we might see cars getting lapped pretty soon, especially when suffering damage. But as you said, safety cars the main priority for this session. Can it be on or can it be off for the next week's league events? And that's the question.
That is the $100 million question. Hopefully we incur no problems going forward, but we'll see how this goes. I mean, just one thing I want to touch upon. I mean, we've got Adam in the comms spot with us, was a member of Front Row Racing and helped out before. Welcome back, Adam. What are you looking forward back on comms and seeing what's what, fella?
I'm looking forward to seeing, look, there's many new drivers now because of the appeal of Front Row Racing. It attracts drivers from everywhere. So the new guys, I'm looking to see if they can hang with the established guys. I'm sure they can, but it's just been an interesting watch for me tonight.
Good stuff there, but yeah, it will be interesting for all of us. First time us three have been together, looking good. Another part of the comms team here, and we have a bit of rain. We have some rain, guys, so
It's going to make it tasty, that.
it is indeed. Adam, before me and Dom start chattering and don't shut up, what's the weather looking like for the race, my good man?
The race is sunny. A little bit of clouds come the end of the race, but if they can get through qualifying, just a touch of rain through quali, they should be alright for the race.
Is it full rain for the full qualifying session now, Adam?
It's light rain for the whole session until the end of quali, so I would set the car up to race in the dry because the race is going to be completely dry.
Okay, good stuff there. We got drivers hitting the track. They all seem to be flooding out, want to get a feel for it, so it'll be interesting as we go. Who's the first guy on out in this train, guys? I don't suppose if you can get up there it saves me flicking through the whole order.
I'll have a look for you, but I'm really struggling with this new spectator mode. It looks fantastic, but it's really hard to get onto a driver from my perspective anyway. I don't have a look for you.
Tyler R2003, he's in the Mercedes, he's the first one out of the pits.
Okay, we'll jump on board with them. While these guys warm up, it's a short lap. I've done a little bit with this, guys. On the left hand side's all the timings, etc. On the, if you hit the square button, it'll bring up driver selection, so you don't have to go through the order anymore, and then you can pick your camera, gaps, fast laps, etc. Have a play, enjoy yourself, and I will jump on board with Tyler and see how he gets on this lap. So, here we go, coming around, tricky conditions, light rain as Adam says, exit in the last corner. Looks like he's got a bit of company up front in a Sauber, I could be wrong. Turn 1, little lift and a shift down by the sounds of it. Just keeping his car within the track limits. Real dancing here, loving this. Heavy braking down to the turn 3 as we come through. So as this is Silverstone short, turn 2's a little flick to the left here, going into a blind right-hander, which will lead down to the hangar straight. Keeping his car right on the limit of track limits there. I believe he has Formula 1 Luke in front of him. He's on a flying lap, does not have to get out of the way. But here we come, down hangar straight, hitting the brakes hard. The rear end's looking really, really loose here, guys. I don't know who you're on board with or what's going on. Coming down to the final, getting on the back of Luke. This could lock up there into the final chicane. Looking a bit tense, but the traffic's probably not helping it. So Williams in front of him. I do apologise, guys. Coming across the line, first time set will be by Luke in front, 54. We're in the 54.4s as we stand, and times are flicking and tumbling everywhere, guys. So who's looking good from your point of view out there at present?
It was a good lap by Lord JB. Lord JB get it into provisional pole, actually overtaking what I believe is Slimbo dude on the second to last corner. So maybe Lord JB has lost a little bit of time during that lap, so there might be a little bit of time to find. Obviously Lord JB is a good driver, but he's still not seeing all the drivers, so I reckon the driver will be getting into the 53s.
Ooh, 53s. I'd hate to see what these guys will be able to do in the dry there, Dom, so that would be interesting. Adam, what were you just about to touch upon, fella?
What's the ideal lap time around here? I've never raced around the short circuit.
I'm unsure. I believe what these guys are saying, 54s in the conditions, is a good representation of what's expected as Lord JB finds another 2 tenths, so Dom was right there. I reckon dry, we're probably looking at the 50s, high 40s, maybe even lower, but I have no idea with these conditions at present as we stand, Adam. So it's all new for all of us, fella. So anybody caught any of your guys' eyes, and I'll jump on board and you can take us through a lap if you like.
I'm just having a look through the field.
Sorry, Adam, go on.
I'm just having a look through the field, see if anyone's trying to be a bit brave here, but everyone seems to be keeping it nice and controlled due to the weather.
Looking that way. Well, I've just jumped back on board with Caribbean Crush, guys, who's surprising me. He's actually sat down in 9th place, one of our competitors of the World Championship this year, looking good in his Red Bull. Losing the rear end, he's coming across looking to get used to the non-assist side. Adam or Dom, would you like to take us around his lap as Tyler sets a 53.5? Wow.
Good lap by Tyler there. We are on board with Caribbean Crush coming out of the last corner. Need to be careful in the rain, obviously getting onto the power in that last corner, especially if you're running no assist like this guy is doing here. Going to the first 2 turns, keeping it nice and tidy here. As he breaks for turn 3, then obviously not going left here. Well, we are going left, but not as much. The shorter track, sort of version of this track. Skipping Magnus and Beckett there, as we get onto the power, struggled a little bit on the exit, but still looking quite nice and tidy. No DRS is run, obviously, because it's raining. And he then breaks up the 100-meter marker board for, I think this is the corner slow, am I correct?
Correct.
And then going into the last chicane of the circuit, again breaking up the 100-meter marker board, slight lock up by Caribbean Crush. Tyler R 2003 set in a quicker time of the 53.4, and there he comes across the line to fall a 53.8 in provisional first position.
Great stuff there. Nice little lap there, Dom. Fair play. Looking good, interesting. Adam, you said the conditions may start to lighten up with the rain towards the end of qualifying. Was that correct?
We're looking towards the end of the qualifying session for the rain to ease off, maybe a couple of minutes of dry track, so it will be interesting to see if anyone's going to brave it on the dry tyres. But the good thing is the top 9 are within a second of first place, so it's quite tight up front.
Interesting, good stuff there.
Obviously with the track being as short as it is, times are always going to be close on this one. I mean, I'm not sure if you've actually seen one of the league events in Austria. Pretty much every season, the top 10 is within about 8 tenths of a second, that close. and I reckon we're going to see the same effect here. What I'm having a look at now though is Calzo. It's actually not come out of the track yet. Calzo obviously being one of the quicker guys in this field, it'll be interesting to see what he can do. As is Sertak Karatepe, he's not come out either, together with Barbie Metsu. I've not seen as much as the other two. Drake is now on a flying lap as well now. Drake SF81. Take us through a lap. One of you.
Yep, I'm on board there now. I'll do this one, Adam. As he comes down, he's got the Red Bull in front of him, which I believe could be Caribbean Crush. As he's come down to Stowe again around the 100-metre board, as Dom picked up on his broadcast last time round. As we come down to the final sector into the tight chicane, Caribbean Crush a little bit slow in front of Dre there. Cuts the corner. He looks like he's trying to get out of the way. Dre missing a gear or two there, but coming around the final corner, looking good. A bit of a scruffy lap, but finding his feet. Might have been. No, Caribbean Crush. We'll stick on board with Dre and see how he does around this lap as we go. But one thing I've just picked up on, guys, before I carry on with Dre's lap, DRS is now active. I don't know if it is, and the rain looks like it has nearly stopped. Oh, Dre spun it in the exit of turn 3, so I believe that's his lap over. Anybody else, guys?
Yeah. Many drivers are switching to the super softs. It may be a little bit too early in some corners, but it's a brave decision, and it might pay off for some drivers.
Both Barden and Doc on the soft tyres. I'll look if I can select all the tyres in this little menu. It's not going to use it. Oh, there we go. Currently fitted on the soft, Swift Royalty, Slimbo Dude, Lord JP, Willow Wolf, Formula 1 Luke, Johnson Barden. This might be a thing that Calzo and Sertak Karatepe are waiting for. They are waiting for his conditions to dry. They've obviously known that the conditions were going to dry out, so we might.
Oh, what a lap time!
Good lap time by Formula 1 Luke, 52.0, but I feel that will be beaten towards the end of the qualifying section. 3 minutes.
I think you could be right there. I'm currently on board with Bereavement, who's coming out the slow corners, guys, looking a bit tricky. Locks up into the final chicane, just kind of seeing what this gentleman's got as we ride on board with him as he comes up to the final line. But Formula 1 Luke, what a lap time that was brought up. But Bereavement has just put himself 5th with a 53.7. The track's improving as we go. I think Dom's prediction there might have been right about Calzo. Gonk now a 50.7. Wow. Times are tumbling, guys. Times are tumbling. I don't know who to be on board with, to be honest, guys, because any one of these guys at present can take pole. It's all about the last man crossing that line.
Twist Royalty's in sector 3 at the moment.
Right, yeah. Formula 1 just put in another quickest time with a 50.3 as I see Tyler Hart 2003 coming out of the pits. The fastest guy on the intermediates is now out of the super soft tyre.
Good stuff there, Dom. Good stuff. Twist.
Formula 1 Lucas took a provisional pole at the moment with a 50.393.
Yep. Oh, got a spinner.
399, sorry.
Sorry to cut you off there, Adam. We just had Dre that has spun on the exit of turn 3 again, I believe, going into 4. So tricky conditions for these guys as we stand. Be interesting to see how quickly these guys get up to speed in the conditions they're having to deal with today. So may have an interesting race and a topsy-turvy grid for you guys in your first commentary working together. So be interesting for you.
That'll be interesting to see indeed. Obviously with the track being this cold and with these tyres being not entirely suitable for these conditions, it is all about who has, well, I don't want to say it, but who has the biggest balls in the field. As we see multiple guys out on track. Ray actually still out on the intermediate, so I don't know if Ray has missed the weather message with everyone being out on the soft. There's Willow Wolf putting in 49.6 with Barbanet on a 49.8, probably sitting in second.
Good stuff there, Dom. It is now flying. Adam, anybody you're on board with?
Yeah, I'm just on board with Twist Royalty at the moment. He's in sector 2 at the moment. He's putting in some solid times, but I expect him to be a bit further up the grid at the moment. We've Gonk in provisional pole at the moment with a 49.0, which is a good time for him. I know Gonk, oh, there you go, Lord JB at 48.8, takes provisional pole at the moment. There's only 40 seconds left in the session.
That's correct there. We just saw Twist.
Lord JB scratched his car into the first corner, tried to take a lot of risk going into that first corner to try and set an even better time got Lord JP out of this qualifying session, currently starting third. But it's all about who's crossing the line the last. The track will be the drive, it will never be. So it'll be about who crosses the line the last in order to see who gets off.
It will indeed.
Now on a 48-4. Time to come with.
Wow, that's good stuff there. I'm currently on board with Tyler, R2003, to see how he improves, one of the drivers up there fighting for pole. The clock has now finished. He's currently coming up to finish his lap time. Where will he be? He's taken pole. It's a 48 dead, guys. He's taken it by about 200-300 hundredths.
Yeah, that's right.
There are a couple of drivers still on their laps. You see Alan Montian, I don't know who this guy is, as well. Wolf puts in a provisional pole position with a 47.9. I'm on board with Alan Montian. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but he is on the lap. And I don't know if this is quickest. We'll have a look here. Very, very close at the top. I think the top four are separated by less than a tenth.
Oh, what a lap!
RDB puts in a pole position time here.
Wow, it is dropping like flies, guys. If you can keep the information coming for our viewers until they've all crossed the line, unless they have, because I am stuck.
Alan Montian crossing the line now. It is in upper pole position. It is not, as I'm above with Shumi Garcia now on the soft tyres, with most competitors around him being on the super soft tyres. Let's see what Shumi Garcia do. Obviously no sector time. What I do see is that Shumi Garcia is running rich, while there is a max fuel mix which makes you go even faster. So this will be something for him to be notified of as he comes around in the last couple of turns. Currently starting P6. What is he going to be? Is he going to stay P6 or is he going to improve? He is not. I think that qualifying session pretty much over.
I believe it is. With all the drivers.
I think positive with Willow Walls is only 0.008 of a second off RDB's provisional pole time, which is extremely close.
What I find interesting, guys, is Dom's prediction of Calzo coming out late hasn't materialised. So is Calzo planning to have some fun here? I mean, I don't know him personally. Do you, Dom? Is he the type of driver that likes to have a bit of fun and see what's what?
I don't know really. Well, obviously not in the league races, but he might want to see what it's like to start a race from the back of the grid, just in case it happens in a league race, or just in case he gets damage in the first lap, which is something that does happen in league racing, unfortunately. What I'm unsure about though, I've seen Calzo left the session a couple of minutes ago. I don't know if he's actually joined back, but if he has left the session, that means he will not be competing in the race if he doesn't join back in time.
That's very, very true there. If Calzo can't get back in time, he's got 30 seconds to join. Hopefully he can get back in if he's not already here. I've got a checkered flag by his name, so he may be in the lobby, but we'll find out when these drivers line up. 20 seconds to go, guys. We're just waiting for the timer to count down, and then if Dom or Adam would like to run through the grid order for today's event.
Okay, yeah, it's provisional pole, which is, well, it's set now, isn't it? RDB, we're 47.9, Willow Walls 0.008 a second away. Danny Roughton, and there goes my screen. Danny Roughton is third, Tyler R2003 is fourth. Alan Muntian is fifth, Shumi Free Garcia is sixth, Slimbo Dude is seventh, Twisseroti is eighth, Lord JB 13 is ninth, Gonk 721 is 10th. Is that Uzi 1985 11th? Barvyman is 12th, Formula 1 Luke is 13th. And we've got Caribbean Crush 14th, Dre SS81 is 15th. And we've got a couple of drivers that have left the session, so it's coming up as Sebastian Vettel, which would be an honour if he was in the league.
What's that, sorry? What, Vettel? I think that car though is Calzo, so I believe Calzo will not be competing in the race. But what a session, guys. I mean, top 10 within 1 second. I mean, it proves not only that the circuit is close, but the gap is pace.
It does indeed. There is one thing I touched upon, noticed there, guys. We've got a driver in the mix on the soft tyres. I can't quite remember his name. I believe he was in 6th. It might be worth watching him. He was only 0.2 off the pole time on the harder compound.
Yeah, that was Shumi Garcia. He's sat in P6 on the soft tyres. I do know there is another guy on the soft tyres, but I can't remember. I think it might have been Uzi 1985. I'm not too sure though. It could be someone else. But that first will be starting down
26 laps.
And the lights are out and away we go. With RDB having a good start, Willow Wolves getting away a bit slow, being put on pressure by Danny Wilson going for the first turn. Do we have a clean turn? Oh no, it's not. Willow Wolves is off.
Big crash, big crash.
The McLaren. That is Tyler R2003 out of the session straight away. Have a look here, Tyler R2003 in the Mercedes. The Mercedes was selected by the Toro Rosso and split straight into the McLaren. And that McLaren appears to be Twisted Royalty, was getting involved with him on my street. The TV for Twisted Royalty, no wing, Caribbean Crush, half a wing, Barvin Met, no wing, and the first one with a wing from the top 10 up is gone in 9th position. And the rest of it seems to have been very clean with Uzi in 1985, also half a wing fitting from 7th position. And he's got a 5-second stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. So not a very good start. I usually am bad.
Not good stuff there. Up at the front, it's all got a bit hectic. RDB has lost out to Danny Railton, who's in the Haas with him. Currently teammates today. Not teammates as they go. But it's all looking a bit hectic behind RDB, guys. Maybe he went with a wet setup. Currently, though, we did see that crash that Dom was commentating on. One thing I have noticed, we currently don't have a safety car out, which could possibly be a good feature where the cars went off so far into the barrier. So again, this is a test session mainly for the safety car, but for the guys to get up to speed as they go, as the season will start next week. What have you seen, Adam?
I find it surprising that the cars are quite far apart from each other. There's quite a big gap because in qualifying, top 10 within a second of each other. So maybe some people are running a bit more fuel, maybe running a bit in rich modes to see if they can get some times.
Boys versus safety car result. Interesting on that though is that the Versus safety car came out as Willow Wolf left this session, so we'll have to have a look into this in order to start the league with the safety car next week. So that'll be something for you to investigate, Dave.
Thank you very much for that information there, Don. That has been noted as you said it. As soon as you said it, I got my pen and paper, fella, so thanks for the information. Now Tyler has left. Interesting.
After retiring his car into turn 2. Very important for Tyler R 2003, but then again, it's only a session and not a league race event. So nothing too major for Tyler R.
I think the virtual safety cars are a brilliant feature that got added to F1 because it limits the action, but just so everything can get cleared up and we go straight again racing. I like that. DRS enables straight away after as well.
Was the McLaren off? Is that the leader? Or is that someone being lapped? No, that is someone being lapped. I'm sorry for causing the promotion, guys. Obviously, with this track being this short, as I predicted, cars will get lapped very, very quickly. I'll have a look who that car is. That car is Barvin Met, who got lapped, I believe.
We've got Twist Royalty has been lapped, Barvman's been lapped, and Dre.
Yeah, both of them are in the McLaren, so that's why I was confused there. Have a look, Dre is back out on the super soft tyres after fitting in lap 1 for damage. So not a very good start for Dre in this session. Meanwhile though, Danny Wilson still out in the lead with Cylinder lead in second, RDB in third, having lost out.
Well, cut you off. Shimmy Garcia's now. Yep. Just taking the position. Go on, Dom. Go on, Dom.
I think RDB's got damage, boys.
Oh, there's contact.
And he's retired. Oh, that is a very quick end to the session for RDB. Very unlucky there after a bit of contact with Lord JB. Meanwhile, though, Shumi Garcia, guys, if you've noted, Shumi Garcia in third on the soft, so this opens up quite a couple of opportunities here for Shumi Garcia. He might be able to pounce on the great run in the race.
I wonder if tyre degradation is high round here.
I have no clue about this match, so I don't know if Gates can enlighten us on that.
Normally, if we were running around the full Silverstone circuit, it would be. There's only 2 real corners around this track as it stands, and the drivers are just about to enter Hangar Straight and go down to Stowe. That would be one of the corners of the track that will put a lot of strain on the tyres. And of course, turn 1. Other than that, Adam, there's no real tyre graining as such or wear around here, so we could see a long race. That's why a few of the drivers may have gone on to the super softs and taken a chuck.
Lord JB's getting extremely close.
4 cars here. Red Bull and McLaren and the Sauber going into the second to last corner. That's never going to end well. With the Williams getting involved as well. If the Red Bull goes a little bit wide and loses that position to the Williams in the last corner. And that is Ali and Moonfan and Formula 1. Look, having a good race so far. I think I've
Whoa! Sorry, got cut you off there. Lord JB has
on.
just absolutely thrown one down the inside of the McLaren there, and he's trying it again, and he's spun, he's gone, he's gone.
He's gone out. Have a look though.
Oh, that's a shame.
Damage? I'm not sure. I don't think he has. As Barberman is getting past him, but Barberman is a lap down, so he will have to move over for Lord JB in a minute. As Lord JB struggles to control the car after getting it on the grass. Obviously, with this game, you've got the effect of when you get grass on your tyres, there's no slip at all. You need to calm it down for at least 10 to 15 seconds on those tyres for the grass to wear off. Adam, you were saying?
Yeah, we've got Gonk coming out of the pits. He's changed his front wing, so he must have had a bit of damage, and he's gone onto the softs from the super softs. So he should see these tyres, hopefully, to the end.
Good stuff there, Adam. Thanks for the information. Guys, one person I've noticed that's flying up through the order now is Caribbean Crush, transferred to the WC. Seems to be finding his feet now with the conditions dry, and he's currently hunting down Ali Muntean and Formula 1 Luke as we speak, as I believe... Who is in that McLaren, guys? Because he is right in this scrap. I hope he don't get a penalty from blue flags and that.
Well, we have missed something, by the way. Limbo Duke now leading the race as the virtual safety car is out again. DRS disabled during the virtual safety car with Limbo Duke now in the lead. Danny Railton moving out to Limbo Duke now in second. So Dave, another virtual safety car is out. I don't know for what. I don't know if someone has left the session. I wasn't really looking at that. This will be something we will have to investigate before actually deciding anything in it.
Definitely. I mean, keep it coming, guys, because any reasons of why the virtual safety car is coming out or the safety car, I need to note it. So, cracking job, Dom, staying on top of it. I did not see anyone leave that time. Adam, did you? Because I'm making notes as I go.
So I don't know why it's come out. But I tell you what, there's some drivers taking advantage of getting a pit stop under the virtual safety car, which is a little bit of a benefit towards them.
Very, very true there. It could be interesting stuff, but I believe we're underway again, guys, for the second time under the virtual safety car. I've made notes. We will look into this in a private session where needed and see what the problems are. And at the moment, guys, I would just like to say if this continues, the safety car will be scrapped instantly. But like I said, we will do testing behind closed doors and see what's what. So, currently, with all the hectic dramas going on, guys, I will quickly run through the order for the viewers so they know who's where and what's going on. Currently, we have Slimbo Dude in first, as Dom picked up on with what we missed. Danny Railton in second. Shumi Garcia is third. Then we've got Ali Muntean in fourth, followed by Caribbean Crush in fifth. Formula 1 Luke, is in 6th. Uzi is 7th. Lord JB is 8th.
Slimbo Dude, as he's gone into the pit, I've got a 5-second stop and go penalty speeding into the pit lane. So Slimbo Dude picking from the lead. He's going to lose out to that lead a little bit more with the stop and go penalty.
Ooh, not looking good there. I'll just finish off with the order. We got Surtek Kalatabi in 9th, Gonk in 10th, Bereavement 11th, Twist in 12th and Dre in 13th. All other runners that have gone have either DNF'd or left the session.
I think that's going to put Slimbo Dude right on the back foot now with a 5-second stop-go penalty. That is kind of race over, I think, with the short nature of the track.
You might be right there, Adam. Yeah, as you said, given the short nature of the track, who knows what's going on. I believe he's just re-entered the track, and is he about 18 seconds, 17.7 seconds off the lead. So interesting to see how he flies back through the order. I could be wrong there. Let me just check that a minute, guys. Nope, sorry, 25.1 seconds off the lead. So he's got his work cut out. I'm currently on board with Lord JB, who's just gone completely around the outside of Uzi at turn 3. What a move there, coming down onto Hanger Straight. Lord JB currently on the soft tyres with Uzi following him on the soft tyres. A nice little battle developing between these two guys. If you guys see anything else kicking off on track, scream at me and we'll jump there.
I'm just on board with Shumi Garcia. He's putting some decent lap times at the moment. He's 7.9 seconds in front of second place at the moment, so he's controlling the race well.
That's good to hear. It'd be interesting. Shumi Garcia is one of the drivers that has been promoted, so really establishing himself in this race, and looking like a bit of a handful going forward into season 8. So it'd be interesting to see how he does in this event today, because as we saw, one mistake from like the likes of Slimbo Dude can have you in first sailing away and have you all the way down in fourth now, with pit stops happening, fighting your way back through the order. So it'd be interesting.
We've got the two Red Bulls within half a second of each other, going around first turn, second turn as well. They're getting quite close to each other. They're going to have to watch out they don't take each other out.
Names, Adam, names.
Caribbean Crush, and he's chasing Alain Martin. There's 5/10 of a second in between it. Going around to the last corner of the lap, they were touching nose to wing.
Good stuff there. I found them in the end. No worries. It's all mixed up at the moment, Adam. We don't know who's in what car. Welcome back to the Cottbus team, mate. Mistakes happen, but one of the Red Bulls is in, Adam.
Alright, yeah, Caribbean Crush has gone into second. He's, I think his teammates are pitted, yeah. So Alain Martin is pitting. He's on the super softs at the moment, so he'll be going on to the soft tyres. So Slimbo Dude should be able to get in front of him after these pit stops. Hopefully that penalty didn't affect him too much.
No, hopefully
the thing is, I think Slimbo still needs to stop. Still has to hand in that stop and go penalty for as far as that's concerned. Danny Wilson, in the meantime, has pitted a lap or two ago as a first out again. So I don't
understand that.
So this will be something you need to have a look at in order to start the league with the safety car on. And also Dree gets the 5-second stop and go penalty. At the moment, Slim Woody, the virtual leader, as he pits for a stop and go penalty, I believe. Well, that's Caribbean Crush, sorry boy. Caribbean Crush then into the pits from P2 on the soft tyres. Has not made a stop yet and will be going over to probably the super soft. Great stuff here by Caribbean Crush, making good use of the virtual safety car. And let's try and see if he can get into that battle for the lead, because Slimbo Dude and Danny Railton are not too far away.
Wow.
Do you think it's a concern that drivers are getting penalties for speeding in the pit lane?
I think definitely it's a concern for themselves and not for us. That'll just be something because we have turned the pit limiter off for this season. It has been on in previous World Series races where people could just bomb it into the pits and nothing would happen. That, however, is turned off for this season upcoming. So guys probably not knowing this problem will have to work on that. So this is a good test session also for them to practice with the pit lane.
That's very, very true there, Dom. I'll just elaborate a little bit on that. We've not only turned off pit assist, these guys in the World Series now will have to do a manual start and also a manual release from their pit exit. So we left it to the drivers. The votes came in. They voted more in favour of turning it off, so that's the way it will go. Looking interesting though, the safety car situation is not looking promising. The last one I saw, I did make a note, I was keeping my eye on the screens. I did not see anyone leave or anybody crashed out. So I've got a few concerns over what Codemasters have actually done with this going forward into our events next week. But we will test that behind closed doors, as Dom said, and look into it, etc. and see what's what.
Well, yeah, exactly, as you said. Well, I do know, I think you are in another league as well, isn't it?
Correct.
You, Adam. Have you got the safety car turned on in that league?
I'll touch on this. That it's been that bad with the safety car that in this other league I'm participating in, me and the owner actually had an argument about it because of the amount of testing that I have done from the...
Caribbean Crush goes for a move on Lord JB, sorry to interrupt. Caribbean Crush overtaking Lord JB, Caribbean Crush on the super stop possibly on the soft for 6th position. Caribbean Crush is hunting to the front 5 down now. But go on.
No worries. Spot on there, Dom. Keep it coming, mate. Just scream at me if anything happens. Yeah, we've done a test session. Me and the owner actually fell out over this to a degree. We're mates. And going forward, it was the amount of testing that was put into it and the sheer amount of queries and problems that were found. We continue to run it. We did turn it off for a few events. It did sort problems out. However, with this patch, we'll probably end up trying it again. So it's information from this session and the other session I will take on board as much as possible, plus private sessions. This is something that is not looking too promising.
There's one positive. Before the patch come out for the safety car, we turned the safety car in a race and I was in Bahrain baking up track and I couldn't change my tyres from Inters. So I think that option was, with the option of safety car on, it was actually letting people come into an invite session that I didn't even know as well. So there's a lot of bugs, and still a lot of bugs in it now.
Yeah, well, in the league I'm competing in the French league, and we run 100% races, and we have got the safety car turned on, and we've had 2 events now when no big problems were discovered for the safety car. So this for us was a sign to continue to use the safety car. But in this FRR session, obviously it appears that there are problems with the safety car. So that is unlucky. That is something that we, or you mainly, Dave, need to look at. In order to know whether to put the safety car on or off, because it would be a nice asset to the league if we can put it on, but if it can't be done, then it can't be done.
Exactly.
We've got Formula 1 Luke in the Williams, coming under pressure by Alain Montine in the Red Bull. Is within a second of each other, so Formula 1 Luke needs to kind of control his pace a little bit more. He's a bit ragged out of some corners.
No, but he's looking quite good. I've just noticed he's in 4th place there, Adam, on the soft compound, as you said, with Ali Montine. He's in the pits. He's in the pits. This is interesting. He's slowing his speed down nicely. I'm just checking this, guys. He's picked up a 5 seconds.
Stop go penalty.
Oh, I was on board with him there, guys, and from what I could see, he got his speed down and then wanted a bit more and maybe jolted his way into the pit lane a few mile an hour over the speedo.
And again, the safety car is out, DRS is disabled again, so
it seems
need to look at it. It might be a combination of the things we put into the settings, or it might just be the safety car. So we will have to test a little bit more of the safety car. We will probably get the league started next week, from what I understand, isn't it, Dave?
that is correct. The league will go ahead no matter what, even if we have to delay adding the safety car and test it over a case of a month, just to make sure, as Dom just said, which is quite right, it could be the mixture of settings we have not quite working right. It could be a combination of different things, basically, guys. But we're going to do some vigorous testing on this, because as Dom and I'm sure as Adam would like, the safety car feature is, I find, crucial in racing, because it can change a race, make a race, everything.
I agree.
So going forward, we will test this to its absolute maximum, see what we can get out with different settings, and see what we can come up with, and an announcement will be made on what we plan to do in round 1. But testing probably still will not be complete with the safety car, so please bear that in mind, guys. But either way, yes Dom, yes Adam, we are live next week.
I think this is a positive of the league, that there's so much testing in the background to give the drivers such a unique experience, and that's why front row racing is worth signing up for.
Oh, I like that, Adam. I like that. That was sneaky.
Garcia putting in the quickest lap of the race at 46.9. He's still got an 8.3 gap though to the lead, and a 3.2 gap to Danny Railton. But we might be able to see Shimi Garcia attacking Danny Railton if Danny Railton makes a mistake towards the end of the race. Well,
we're there now, because he seems to be the only guy on the move at the moment, and I've just got his app bereavement. Picked up a 5-second stop and go for ignoring blue flags there. So guys participating in these events, the rules are strict, the rules are there. Please abide by them all times, or you may find yourself not enjoying your racing as it goes. But yeah, we're currently on board with Shumi Garcia. As Dom just said, he seems to be the guy on the move that is taking 10th after 10th out of Danny Railton in front of him here. So I believe this is going to be our closest battle that's going to unfold anytime soon. The only other battle, guys, if you keep an eye on Caribbean Crush, he might be actually starting to hunt down Ali Montine now.
Yeah, it's 2.7 seconds away.
Sorry, Adam. Caribbean Crush have been on the super soft tyres. Ali Montine being on the soft tyres, so we will be able to see Caribbean Crush closing in on Ali Montine if everything goes right. The question is, will you be able to close that 2.7 gap up in the remainder of the race, with only 3 laps remaining at the moment?
Spot on, good stuff there. I've just noticed something in this Danny Railton and Shumi Garcia battle, Adam. I don't know if you noticed it. We've got a McLaren in the sandwich.
Hey, that's unusual as well.
Sorry, Formula 1 Luke's race has come to an early end. I don't know if he's retired on track or if he's crashed on the track. I don't know if I can actually see this. Yes, he has crashed. He's got both of his front wheels off the car on his Williams. So this is unlucky. I see a lot of 3-second time penalties being handed out, boys. So this will be something to work on for the driver as well, especially when the league starts next Wednesday and Thursday, because I do believe that when you get a penalty, it's very hard to appeal this penalty.
It is indeed, Dom, and it will be. Given the facts of, I believe, Codemasters have got very, very strict on their track limits within this game, which me personally, keep the car in between the white lines, that's what they're there for. A little bit of an update for you though, guys. Danny Railton, there was a McLaren for company behind. Now Shumi Garcia has got past that McLaren. A little bit of an update for the lead though. We've got Danny Railton now leading, Shumi Garcia second, and Slimbo Dude is in third.
What has happened to Silverstone dude then? Has he had a stop and go penalty? I'll have a look on the race director for you to see what exactly has happened with Silverstone dude.
Nice one there, Dom.
I can't see anything. Is he on the super softs now? Is he? No, he's not. He's on the. So he might have just spun out. I don't see him. He's made one stop. That must have been a mistake made by Silverstone dude. So that was very unlucky. Obviously, the pressure of the guy behind him then probably getting to him. This will be something to work on for him during the league race.
Woo, woo, woo! Force India, whoa my God, what have I just seen?
I don't know what
Shumi Garcia is extremely close.
For the lead of the race.
There's contact.
And he's nearly spins out, and there's contact with another car in the Force India in the background. Great. Being lapped, and then Slimbo goes back into second position. What I'm wondering, I see Danny Railton's got damage on his car in the last lap of the race. And with Shumi Garcia coming very, very, very quickly, Slimbo do drop position after position. We've now got a cars going into Stoke.
Well, it's going to be a very, very tight finish here. Adam, what are you watching? Because these guys are just about to finish the race, nose to tail.
I'm watching third place, Ali Montini. He is 3/10 a second behind Shumi Garcia. He's got to have a go now. It's the last few corners.
Danny Railton wins the race, though. What a race, Danny Railton. And he drops down place because of the penalty. Look at all the penalties, guys. It is actually Shumi Garcia who's going to pick up the race win by the looks of it, by 4/10 of a second from Ali Muntan, who I believe is the only other guy in the top 5 who's not picked up a penalty. So the rest of them have picked up a penalty. There's nothing major to worry about at this stage, but if this happens next week, then they're in for some problems. Anyway, though, a great race here by all the top 5, pretty much all the drivers anyway, but a great battle in the last few laps by the top 5.
Very, very eventful. I mean, we discussed how many laps it would be before the event, guys, and I think we've all got it horribly wrong, because I was expecting about 40 laps, but no, it's interesting race.
I think it's kept the same amount of laps for the actual Britain Grand Prix with the British short version. So this race has been a little bit shorter, but that's nothing too major. It was a nice test session anyway, and it kept the racing close. The fact that the laps were this low.
It did indeed, and as we said at the start of the show, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this was purely, mainly focused upon the safety car with our start next week. So we'll look into this. We've come across at least 3 problems I've seen, Dom's seen, and Adam's seen. So yeah, interesting race. Adam, what's your thoughts?
Thoughts are Shumi Garcia and Ali Montini did a great race. No penalties for either of them, and that's quite a decent show, because I'm sure the safety car is adding a few penalties as well, because I've noticed that in a few races the safety car option will add more penalties than usual.
It will indeed. What I'll do now quickly, guys, is fly through the order as quick as I can. In first, Shumi Garcia, great win there, fella. Nice little result. Ali Muntin, one of our new members, showing a great, fantastic race there, not getting a penalty. Slimbo Dude in third. Those will be our podium sitters. You've got Shumi Garcia, Ali Muntin, Slimbo Dude. Fourth, Caribbean Crush. Fifth, Danny Railton. Sixth, Lord JB. Seventh, Gonk. Eighth, Uzi. Twist Royalty in ninth. And I believe we've had someone left, Bereavement in 11th, and Dre in 12th, and Luke was our last DNF in 13th.
Dave, a question though, are we doing podium interviews? Because I don't think we are we, with this test session, or
not,
do you think otherwise?
Not this evening, unless you guys want to have a chat with our top 3. Other than that, we will just have
I'd rather have a chat with them next week with the actual World Series event. Very excited for that, and the World Championship obviously as well, to race. So it'll be interesting to see how these drivers will get on next week, because obviously this was all just for all good banter and fun. But next week, it's where the real stuff starts. So I'm sure the guys will practice for it, and we'll see a great show like this today next week.
It will indeed. No, I'm happy to skip the interview, podium interviews. Sorry, guys. Maybe I should have released that in the post. So that is purely my fault. I understand any stick I get upon that. But as Dom said and Adam said, this was mainly to bring Dom along back to comms and Adam back to comms so they could get used to the features ready for season 8 because they will be a part of the comms team. The session itself was based around the safety car and the purpose of what it can and can't do, and from what I've seen, this is going to take a bit of extensive testing looking forward and a lot of in-depth on what we can and can't do, setting changes, etc. But other than that, it's been a very eventful race, and before we close up the show, guys, would you like to round off with your thoughts and opinions being back in the comms box?
It's good fun. I mean, I've done a couple of Project Cars sessions, I think last year, and a couple of reserves races last year. It was fun. It was good. But what I also said back then, that was my main focus has always been on F1. So this is something that I've been looking out for quite some time. Being a commentator in the World Series, I've been in the league a long time, so I know a lot about most drivers. I know how they drive and who they are. So I hope that'll be something good to use in the commentary sessions. So I'm very looking forward to it.
Good stuff there, Dom. We're looking forward to it.
I'd like to add that joining Front Row Racing in F1 2012 game, this league's gave me so much. So when they're in need, I think it's time I pay them back for everything and every opportunity they gave me. And that's why it's a pleasure to do commentary. Because this league opened up my world to so many more possibilities.
There you go, guys. You've heard it from Overdyke himself and Adam, or Dom, sorry, should I say. These guys, I don't really want to say it, are kind of veterans now of front row racing. So believe you me, when they speak and their words of wisdom, if you will, it's well worth taking it on board because they've been around the block of front row racing. That's not meant in an offensive way either, guys, okay? But no, it's a great league to be a part of. The rules are strict, the rules are firm. It's a good group of lads we have here. We've actually got the Mr. Hamilton 44 that is participating in the final round of the E-Series event itself. So it shows we've got the drivers, we've got the pace, we've got the talent. If you feel like dethroning any of these drivers or coming along and rubbing wheels with the likes of me and Overdyke and co that you've seen today, drop us a message on Facebook. Front Row Racing's where you'll find us, and we'll get in touch and see if you want to participate in the assist side or the non-assist side. The event you have viewed this evening was a test session, as we said, but it was a mixture of everything. We had reserves, World Championship, or the odd World Championship and the odd World Series driver there. So it's well worth coming along. I mean, I only joined a season ago. Sitting amongst the veterans here that are good guys, good racers, done their bit, and as Adam said, he's repaying Front Row Racing by stepping up and doing some comms alongside the likes of Overdyke here, Dom, and it's a great community. Come along, drop us a message, see what you think of it. We'll look to get you racing as soon as we can, and as of next week, that's Wednesday next week, we will be live at 7:25 with the World Championship first event this season, and then moving on from that, it will be Thursday will be our next event after that with the World Series drivers. Again, 7:25 is the time the show starts. Come along. This season looks like to be a cracking one, especially in the World Series events itself. So guys, anything else you would like to say before I wrap up the show?
Well, no, anything I was going to say, you've just said then, so thank you for that, and I'll hope to see you guys next week.
No worries.
Yeah, definitely. I've enjoyed tonight. It was great to see a mixture of both World Championship and World Series drivers getting along and still having pace, great pace with each other as well. So it was a very insightful event.
Good stuff there, guys. As you said, next week you will hear the likes of Dom on the World Series side, new comms team on the World Championship side. Adam will be there. So as I said, to round it up quickly, it was just an event to test some things out, new comms, team working together, safety car feature, and we'll go forward. You can catch us next week, Wednesday, 7:25 p.m. Come along, watch the show. You will see these guys go hell for leather around Australia, putting on a cracking show. Other than that, guys, I have been Front Row Racing C2, shorthand version now, also known as Coming to Get You 85. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope to see you tuning in next week. Good night. God bless.